Hi everyone, my name is leilaniforgod, and in this video I'm going to be exposing young pharaoh. Now, many people have exposed young pharaoh, okay? All you have to do is go on YouTube, type in young pharaoh exposed, and voila, you will have content for hours to view. Now, the person who comes to mind for me that I can remember off the top of my head that has exposed young pharaoh with all of the receipts in the videos that show, as time went on, young pharaoh has run a number of scams on the black community is YK the Truth. YKDA Truth. Now, YK the Truth has done a series of videos exposing young pharaoh. He's invited young pharaoh to debate with him, but that obviously has not happened. Now, I can't count how many people have exposed young pharaoh. So what I'm going to do in this video is talk about things that they did not talk about. I'm not going to repeat and be redundant about everything that has already been said. I'm going to add to that list. And I have a long list of my own things that I've noticed that young pharaoh has done that's scammy that just simply haven't been called out by the other people who have exposed him. So just to give a quick overview, I'm coming from the perspective of the Bible. That is my measuring stick tool that I use to judge other people and myself. Now, when it comes to the Bible, the character Pharaoh, okay, is one who enslaved God's chosen people, the Israelites. Enslaved the Israelites for free labor. And God worked through Moses to confront the Pharaoh and say, "Let my people go." And the Pharaoh said no. He was an extremely demonic person who worshiped the sun god Ra. And this is what young Pharaoh is all about. He has all of the symbolism of Egyptology. And young Pharaoh himself, in his videos that I have seen, he clearly says that he does not believe in God. Young pharaoh, this has been exposed by other people. He has star tattoos under both of his arms, huge tattoos of the demonic Baphomet stars. Okay? Young pharaoh has a statue of a snake, a serpent, that he puts up next to himself in his current videos. So he's letting you know that he is in alignment with the Freemasons. They believe that they want all of the forbidden knowledge that they can get from the serpent, and so they just choose to worship the devil to get that information. Now, if you have a relationship with God, such as I do, God has shown me different things about what he has for his chosen people, and it's way better than what we have now. Okay? God has already created the new heaven and the new earth. Okay? And if you are worshiping or following or believing in people like young pharaoh, you will not inherit that new earth. The information that the Freemasons are so desperate to get from the devil is old stuff that's played out. It's not useful information. If it were, they would be changing the world and making it a better place. But under Freemasonry, everything has gone to hell. The air quality is bad. The water quality is bad. So many animals are going extinct. Forests have been cut down to a major degree. There's a hole in the ozone layer. Politics is all messed up all over the world. So obviously, no matter how hard the Freemasons have worked to take over the world, they have not successfully made it a better place. So all of their forbidden knowledge, all of their secrets, all of their oaths, and all of their demon worship isn't helping anything. It's only making everything worse. Now, what I find particularly annoying about young pharaoh, aside from his voice, is the fact that he has run more separate scams than any and all of the other people that have been exposed for scamming the black community. People have put Brother Polite on blast. People have put Umar Johnson on blast. There's a lot of people who've been put on blast for scamming in the black community. Mostly the people who come out of the conscious community. These are the guys who are scamming the black community because they take in money, but they don't show any proof or any results. And young pharaoh is one of those people. When I first started watching young Pharaoh, I thought he was trying to do his best to make a difference in the community. He kept saying that he was going to take money out of his own pocket. He said that he was going to take $10,000 out of his pocket and start a storefront, a physical store where people could send their arts and crafts and things that they make, and he would sell it out of a physical store. Now, I was interested in that. This was a couple of years ago. I was interested in that because I make a lot of stuff. I crochet, I knit, I make jewelry, I make clothes, accessories. So for a minute, I considered, okay, I would sell, because I do sell stuff out of boutiques from time to time. Sometimes before the pandemic, I would actually set up booths and do festivals. So I am in the habit of selling my arts that I create. And it wasn't maybe a month or two later that young Pharaoh says that he actually signed a lease for a storefront. And I was thinking, okay, great, let me see how this develops. And young Pharaoh was saying in his videos to email him and he would send you a contract to do business with you for you to send him your merchandise for him to sell it out of his store. So this is how far he went with this lie. He never spoke about it again. I don't know what happened. He didn't explain. If it went wrong and it didn't work out, the least he could have did was come back and say, I had an idea, but I changed my mind. Now, sometime after that, he said, I'm going to start a black Amazon. Again, he said, I'm going to take $10,000 out of my pocket and start a black Amazon website where black people can sell online. Fine and dandy. Whatever happened to that? He claims that he set up the Black Woman is God stores, a website. When I checked it at that time, it looked terrible. It looked worse than any website I've ever seen. This was the absolute worst site I've ever seen. Like, it only had a few products, a handful of products, and the layout was very poor. This is not $10,000 worth of work at all. It was not even $1,000 worth of work. It looked like beginner work that he did himself. Not only that, but the Black Woman is God stores was already in use by black women who have an artist collective where that was the name of their business. So aside from what YK The Truth is exposing about young Pharaoh stealing other black business names and taking them on as his own, even though these businesses existed for years, once again, young Pharaoh has stolen the identity of a black business and taken it on as his own and not done anything useful with it, and certainly did not put $10,000 into it. Now, another thing that I noticed moving forward, just listening to young Pharaoh speak, he does not advocate for people to have a relationship with God. He's teaching people that somehow black people have magical abilities, and he teaches that white people are inferior to black people. So this is how he panders to the black community's ego. And the problem with that is he used to say that white people were basically the devil and genetically inferior, but now he works for Donald Trump. Now he's mad because he was invited to CPAC and was canceled. You said all of these horrible things about white people. Young Pharaoh's mentor, Seti, and Seti is a demonic entity from Egyptology. So young Pharaoh was mentored by a demonic entity, and Seti claims to be a general, but Seti is also not doing anything for the black community. These people just talk. They don't do anything. Where is the proof? Where is the evidence of your work that you're supposed to be doing that you claim that you're out here to do for the black community? There is none. So Seti has made a lot of disparaging comments about white people, and he says that black people who care too much about white people's opinions are suffering from crackatosis. So I'm wondering how young Pharaoh is now suffering from crackatosis, because he's whining and crying about white people inviting him and canceling him from their event, which if they watched his content, they would know something's off with this guy. Not only that, young Pharaoh made an appearance on an HBO show, and I watched the first episode because I was curious to see how young Pharaoh was going to be integrated into this program. Now, I noticed that the program was full of witchcraft. There was literally a witch who was torturing little children. There was a dialogue between a black man and a black woman, and he was telling her that he's bisexual and he sleeps with both men and women, and she was saying that she's okay with it. So now I'm looking at young Pharaoh like, you know. And then maybe a year or two later, it came out that a woman who appeared to be transgender to me basically outed young Pharaoh for trying to sleep with her. Young Pharaoh has a relationship with his baby mother, who he's still with to this day. And in the middle of his relationship with his baby mother, here comes this transgender saying young Pharaoh was trying to sleep with me. Okay. Now this transgender, listen, I'm not even going to get into the details of their appearance, but let's just say they were nowhere near a black woman. And so, you know, it's funny because he teaches the black woman is God. However, there's no evidence that he really practices what he preaches. Now, if he believes that the black woman is God, why hasn't he made good on his word when he said that he was going to donate towards a single black mother? Who is she? Where is she? What black women's quality of life have you improved? You know, one of the things that I didn't want to repeat things that have already been said by other YouTubers, but young Pharaoh got his start by stealing the identity of a black woman named Sandra Bland, and he raised money in her name, and to the point where her family had to confront him and say, stop doing that. So he stole a black woman's identity, raised money in her name, and said that he was going to use the money to open up daycares nationwide. Now, young Pharaoh is a convicted felon, as most agents are, and he cannot run a daycare. Now, so now we have identity theft, fraud, raising money that is in somebody else's name when you're not authorized to do so, and a flat out lie about what you're going to do with the money because it's not within your ability to do so. Now, if young Pharaoh had donated the money that he raised to opening up daycares, or since that time, it's been a few years since that happened, if he would have still supported black women who are running daycares that are already open, and he supported them by donating to them or investing in them so they could expand their businesses and open up more locations, that would have made more sense. If you can't do it because you're a felon, it doesn't mean that you can't do it at all. So it just goes to show he never had any intention on supporting black women, opening daycares. It's all just been one scam after another. Young Pharaoh also claimed when he was interviewing some people who were associated with a cult leader, he was exposing a cult leader, and he was interviewing a relative of one of the cult members. So I watched that interview. And he says to the woman that the cult leader stole his rhetoric that the black woman is God. Now, first of all, young Pharaoh was not even born when black men started to teach that the black woman is God, okay? Now, I'm not saying that the black woman is God. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this is what young Pharaoh says, okay? So young Pharaoh, I am your God. Listen to me. Let's see if he's going to be able to respond to the things that I'm saying. Anyway, young Pharaoh had the audacity to tell this young lady that another cult leader stole his rhetoric that the black woman is God. So there's a couple of problems with that. It's a flat out lie, okay? That idea was invented and taught way before young Pharaoh was ever born by so many other black men, number one. Number two, he used the word rhetoric. Young Pharaoh said, that's my rhetoric, all right? So I went and I looked up, what does the word rhetoric mean? And it means that a person is intentionally using persuasive techniques and tactics and strategies of persuasion in their communication, for one. And for two, that they are disingenuous, meaning that they're using persuasion, but they don't really mean what they're saying. And that's exactly what he does by saying that the black woman is God. You are just trying to persuade the audience to believe something that you don't even believe, because you don't even uphold black women. What black woman has he held up and promoted? Now, when I look at his baby mother, she did a prank video on young Pharaoh where she was fully pregnant. You could tell she was pregnant. And she pretended that she drank a can of beer. And he came home and saw her like basically acting like she was drunk on the couch or whatever. And I think the can of beer was like laid out on the floor, so she would really look like she was drunk or something. He balled up his fist and he walked up to her and he was like, I'll smack fire out of you. And I was like, whoa, what do we have here? Domestic violence. Now, if in fact she did drink the beer, which she did, and it was a prank, and you're mad because you feel like she's doing damage to your unborn child, how is balling up your fist and hitting her going to help your unborn child, or help her for that matter? It doesn't. He grabbed her up by the face and he smelled her breath, and then he realized that she wasn't drunk and that she was just playing. And he sat down and he's like, "Oh, you lucky I'm tired. I just got back from the gym." Like, he still would have hit her. So it was, to me, I was like, wow, this really goes to show that this guy is not intelligent. He's just emotional. Okay? People think he's a genius. I see in the comment section, he's a genius. No, let me tell you what he is. He is good at memory recall. He reads a whole bunch of information, he remembers it, and then he speaks really fast in order to recall everything that he studied and memorized. You know who else studies and memorizes a lot of information? Actors. He's an actor, as Freemasons are. That's what they tend to do best. And so what we have here is an actor who is creating a lot of lies and confusion. And we know the devil is the author of lies and confusion. He does not believe in God. He represents the pharaoh and the serpent. And after all of the horrible, terrible things he said about white people, that's exactly who he works for. Now, young Pharaoh also have said in his videos that he needed to raise money to buy a tablet because he said his tablet was overheating. And then about a week or two later, he said he wanted to raise money because he wants to become a private investigator. And then a week or two later, he goes, "I'm about to buy a big house, and watch, y'all gonna see me doing good at my big house." So I was thinking, you was just asking for money for a tablet and to become a private investigator. We've never heard about those things again. But now you're going to buy a big house. And now guess what? Now it appears that he lives in a big house. So he did whatever he had to do to sell his soul to the devil and get whatever he got from it, which is the big house that he's in with his baby mother, who I hope he's not smacking around and punching around whenever he doesn't get his way. And he's wearing all types of, demonic Egyptology jewelry. He's got watches, necklaces, rings. What happened to the daycare? What happened to the Black Amazon website? What happened to you saying that you was going to donate to a single black mother? What happened? Where is your contribution to the black community after all the money that you've raised from the black community? Once he got all his money together, he started to turn on the black community. In his videos, he calls black people stupid and lazy. Yeah, because they gave you money, because they believed in you, because they believed all the lies that you taught them. Yeah, I understand why he calls black people stupid, because they believe in him, and he knows that he's a liar, a thief, a con artist, a fraud, and frequently steals the identity of other black business owners, including black women. Okay? A genius is somebody who actually creates solutions. What solutions has young Pharaoh created for the black community? He said, oh, black people need to segregate from white people. Is that a solution that he created? No. This is old information from way back in the day. Okay? So when he can actually create a solution, put his money where his mouth is and see it through, then he can earn my respect. Until then, he is just a demonic entity, low-level Freemason, creating chaos, confusion, lies, manipulation, scams, fraud, in order to save his own tiny behind. All he cares about is his self, his jewelry, and his big house. Enjoy it, young Pharaoh. Your soul is gone. You will not inherit what God has for his chosen people. And so people who make the choice to not believe in God and to instead worship the serpent and bow down to the devil, that's on them. I'm not trying to convince young Pharaoh because it's too late for him. I'm making this video for God's people who care about the condition of their soul in this life and in the afterlife, to see him for what he is and who he is, and make a decision to not take in his toxic information, because all he's doing is taking away from the community. I don't have a good, clear understanding of what he has provided, despite all of the promises that he has made to provide for the black community. Now, go and check out YK the Truth. Go check out Young Pharaoh Exposed. There are plenty of people who brought plenty more information that I did not bring. I did not want to repeat them. Like I said, I wanted to focus on things that I noticed personally. And, you know, you just have to look out, you know, and look out for people who support Young Pharaoh, who act like they can't put two and two together and see that this guy is a scammer. I don't get it, why people can't put this together. I don't get why people are supporting it. But that's because you got to understand, a lot of people work for the devil. Young Pharaoh say, oh, the white man's the devil. Young Pharaoh is the devil. Seti is the devil. Those House of Consciousness people are demons and devils. They have raked in so much money off the black community. Where is the progress? Where is the investment? Where is any type of institution? If they had even started a charter school, I would be happy. If they had even bought some land, I would be happy. Something is better than nothing. These guys have collectively raked in millions of dollars. Polite, Umar, Young Pharaoh, what's that other guy's name? Sonetta. This is where they all come from. He's the gatekeeper for the Freemasonic black boule that take advantage of the black community. They have sucked millions of dollars out of the black community. Where is the physical return on our investment? I haven't given any of them any money. Okay, God has blessed me with a spirit of discernment to know that these are demonic forces in advance. Okay, so I don't give them any money. But I was hoping that Young Pharaoh was going to come through on any of these things that he put out. I was like, okay, he's young. Maybe something went bad in the background. Maybe things didn't work out. Maybe he will eventually do something with the money that he's raised from the community for the community. So time has passed. Now he's completely in support of the white community. And that's fine, you know, because it doesn't matter. There are demonic people. And I'm just saying that Young Pharaoh is one of them. And that's just the bottom line. All right, guys, so I know his trolls are going to be busy. They're a bunch of demons if they don't have the discernment and the common sense to see that he's been sucking money out and not putting anything back. I will not be arguing with them in the comment section because it's just a waste of time. People who've already rotted their soul and given it to the devil and sold it, there's no bringing them back, okay? So his trolls can troll. I really don't care. It's your soul that you're trolling, not mine, okay? I just want to put that out there because I know it comes with the territory when people idol worship, you know, miniature people like Young Pharaoh. All right, guys, stay blessed. Stay close to God. Stay away from these scammers. All they are is vampires. They work for the devil, and it's extremely obvious.